What would you do if the drum you beat at night swallowed your own sister? In the village of Umudim, hidden deep in the red earth of Igbo land, there was a legend whispered from generation to generation. The tale of a drum no man dared to strike. They said the drum belonged to the spirits. They said it was cursed. And they said whoever beat it without permission would awaken the wrath of the ancestors. But one fateful night, one young man's pride brought terror upon the land. His name was Obi. He was a hunter, restless and ambitious, but also poor and mocked by his peers. Each day he watched others thrive, while he returned from the forest with little to feed his sister Adaeze. His heart burned with resentment. One evening, as the elders gathered under the moonlight, they warned once again about the drum. It rests in the forbidden shrine, the oldest of them said, his eyes fixed on Obi. Whoever touches it will bring doom upon Umudim. The people nodded in fear, but Obi only scoffed. Are we slaves to the dead? If wealth and power lie behind that drum, then perhaps I will be the one to claim it. The villagers gasped. His sister, Adaeze, begged him to stop, but pride had already blinded him. That night, while the village slept, Obi crept into the forest. The air was cold, heavy, and still. Strange whispers floated through the trees as he approached the shrine, and there it was, the sacred drum, glowing faintly under the moonlight. Obi reached out, lifted the drumstick, and struck it once. Boom! The ground shuddered. Owls scattered into the sky. A chilling wind roared through the forest, and from the shadows, a figure rose, a dark, faceless spirit, and that was the night Umudim's curse began. The next morning, chaos struck the village. Goats vanished, children fell sick, and crops withered overnight. No one could explain it. But then they saw the footprints leading straight to Obi's hut. He denied everything, but in his sleep the drumbeat returned, echoing in his mind, calling his name. Obi, Obi, return what you have stolen or pay with your blood. He awoke sweating, trembling, yet still refused to confess. Instead, he went to a Zenwani, the village herbalist. This curse, she said gravely, will not stop until the rightful ritual is done. Pride will destroy you if you do not bow. But Obi's pride was stronger than his fear. That night, while the villagers slept, the drumbeat returned again. Only this time, it played itself. Boom, boom, boom. The entire village awoke in terror to see the drum in the village square beating with no hands upon it. The spirits have risen, the elders cried. Soon the Oba, king of Umudim, summoned the diviner. Cowries were cast, kola nuts split, and the diviner's eyes rolled back in a trance. When he spoke, his voice shook the hut. One man's greed has brought this evil. Only a sacrifice of the innocent can appease the spirits. The villagers froze in silence until one whispered a name. Adaeze, Obi's younger sister, pure, kind, beloved by all. Obi's heart thundered in his chest. He wanted to shout the truth, but shame held his tongue. And so the people began to prepare Adaeze for the ritual. On the night of the sacrifice, she was led to the shrine, her hands bound with white cloth. Tears filled her eyes, but her voice was calm. If my life will save the village, then so be it. As the priest raised the blade, the drum began to thunder on its own, louder, faster, shaking the very earth. Then, with a flash of blinding light, Adaeze vanished. The people screamed. The spirits have taken her. Mad with grief, Obi plunged into the forest, calling her name. The night swallowed his voice until he stumbled upon a strange figure. a small child with a painted mask, glowing eyes, and a mischievous laugh. I am Nwa Amu, the spirit child said. If you wish to save your sister, you must face the truth you fear. Before Obi could speak, the forest twisted around him and he was dragged down, down into the underworld. The underworld shook as Obi stood before the monstrous drum beast, its skin stretched with fire, its eyes glowing red like molten coal. Every beat of its chest sent thunder rolling across the shadows. Boom, boom, boom. Each strike was a command of doom, each echo a reminder of Obi's crime. From within the beast, he could hear Adaze's muffled cries. Brother, brother, help me. Her voice pierced his heart like a spear. He gripped his hunting knife tightly and charged. With a roar, he slashed across the beast's side. Black smoke hissed, but the wound closed instantly, the drumbeat growing louder, mocking him. Foolish child, the spirit bellowed. Every strike feeds me. Every wound you make only strengthens my wrath. Obi stumbled back as the beast's massive hand slammed into the ground, sending him sprawling into the dust. His body ached, his spirit trembled, but Adaeze's voice gave him strength. Obi, do not give up. He rose again, panting, blood on his lips. He attacked with fury, striking, stabbing, clawing, but the more he fought, the larger and darker the beast became until it towered like a mountain over him. The ancestors' voices swirled around him. Greed brought you here. Pride feeds your enemy. Only humility can break the curse. Obi fell to his knees, his knife slipping from his hand. He looked at Adaeze trapped within, her hands beating helplessly against the drum's surface, his eyes filled with tears. At last, he understood. With trembling voice, he cried out, Forgive me, ancestors. I was blind with pride. I thought only of myself, and I have brought suffering on my people. Take me if you must, but let my sister live. Let Umudim be free. He pressed his forehead to the ground, surrendering himself completely. For a moment, silence filled the underworld. The beast loomed over him, ready to crush him. But then, something happened. The moment Obi humbled himself, the beast began to weaken. Its thunderous drumbeats faltered. The red fire in its eyes dimmed. The black smoke peeled away like torn cloth. No, the spirit roared. Your humility, it burns me. The monstrous drum split open with a deafening crack, and Adaeze fell into Obi's arms, alive, her eyes wide with tears. The beast shrieked one last time before crumbling into ash, its power broken forever. The underworld shook once more, but this time the light of dawn poured in, swallowing the darkness. The voices of the ancestors whispered one last time, You have learned, remember. And in a flash, Obi and Adaeze awoke in the heart of Umudim's sacred grove, lying side by side beneath the rising sun. The curse was broken, the drum was gone, peace had returned. When peace finally returned to Umudim, the villagers gathered beneath the great Iroko tree. The cursed drum, once a terror, was now nothing more than dust scattered by the wind. Obi stood before his people, no longer the boastful hunter they once knew. His shoulders were bent, his voice trembling, but his heart was clear. I let pride guide me, he confessed. I thought strength and wealth would bring me respect, but it brought only sorrow. I nearly lost my sister. I nearly destroyed my people. Let my mistake be the last of its kind. The Oba, his face stern yet softened by wisdom, lifted his staff. Let this be known to all generations, he declared. The ancestors will always watch. He who defies their wisdom invites ruin, But he who humbles himself and accepts his fault will find mercy. The people murmured in agreement. Adaeze stepped forward, her hands resting gently on Obi's shoulder. My brother has stumbled, but he has also learned, she said. Let us not remember him for the curse, but for the courage to face it. From that day, the children of Umudim were taught this tale by the fireside. Pride is louder than wisdom, but it leads only to shame. The innocent often suffer when the guilty hide their truths. A single act of disobedience can destroy a whole community, but humility, confession, and sacrifice can restore what is lost. And so, Obi lived out his years as a humble man, not seeking wealth or glory, but serving the village that once almost cast him out. His name was no longer spoken with anger, but with quiet respect, as the man who dared the cursed drum and survived to teach the lesson of it. And if you ever walk through the forest of Umudim on a moonless night, some say you might still hear a faint echo in the wind. Boom, boom, boom. Not a curse anymore, but a reminder that no man is greater than his people, and no pride is greater than the wisdom of the ancestors. And here comes the end of the story. Thank you for staying till the end. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel so you get notified when new stories come up.